Tell the DJ to bring a new sound. Step to the rhythm, let the bass roll out. Show me how you move, how you get down. Take it to the dance floor, do it now. Tell the DJ to bring a new sound. Take it right back. Step to the rhythm, let the bass roll out. Show me how you move, how you get down. Take it to the dance floor, do it now. Tell the DJ to bring a new sound. Take it right back. Tell the DJ to bring a new sound. Tell the DJ to bring a new sound. Tell the DJ to bring a new sound. Tell the DJ to bring a. Tell the DJ to bring a. Tell the DJ. 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 Tell the DJ to bring a new sound.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to VLE Challengers Cup 2, Day 5. We're ready to get this match underway. It's going to be DSS Gaming versus Salvation. Joining me for this match is going to be Storch. How we doing today, brother?
I'm doing pretty good. Pretty excited about this matchup. Salvation, of course, had a pretty exciting match last week, or 2 weeks ago. I forget exactly when. But DSS, first look at them. They got the bye against Zeta, because Zeta had to FF. Very interested in seeing what their playstyle is going to be like.
Yeah, I was telling the folks in the lobby here in game that I was waiting for this day for a very long time. I couldn't wait to see DSS play because I've seen them talk a lot in the server about, what they're going to show us. So I'm excited for it. Now, DSS Gaming, a team we haven't seen yet, as they ended up getting that bye in the first round, as you said. So they already find themselves actually here looking to qualify for the playoffs, oddly enough. The position they are in actually gives them a bit of an advantage, as they haven't been seen yet, but their opponents, Salvation, have been. And from the looks of it, Trombone Man Noah, he plays controller, Draken plays duelist, French Toast seems to play a lot of duelist as well, but he seems to flex a lot. Frost plays Sentinel, and then you've got Lord Buckethead, who's actually their registered IGL, plays Initiator, and he dabbles in some other roles as well as a flex. So since we know nothing about this squad other than, the roles and maybe the ranks alone, I'm looking towards Lord Buckethead actually to set the foundation for what we can expect from DSS Gaming in this first map, and I'm looking for Trombone Man Noah and particularly Draken as well to be difference makers, specifically Noah in that controller role and Draken as the duelist presence in the server.
Yeah, and Draken, I'm expecting to see some leadership from him. I've looked at his career and, recently it's clear that he's been prioritizing some other things in life outside of Valorant, but he's a former Immortal player, and having that expertise on your team, that's never a small thing.
Yep. 100%, and he's going to show that in the server, I hope.
Yeah, very excited to see things get underway.
Now, Salvation, their opponents. We've seen this team already, and they actually took their first series in dominant 2-0 fashion, although one of the maps were really close. Do you think we'll see them in the same form today, or does it feel like this match is going to look shakier for them, given the amount of unknowns and potential disadvantage, actually, of DSS having VODs on them and not vice versa?
They've been talking up a storm in the Discord server, so I think they're fairly confident. I am expecting some nice composed gameplay from both sides. I think saw that with Vector. Did very good job of IGLing them in their last game, specifically on Ascent. We found out later that they hadn't scrimmed Sunset, and so Icebox, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Robbie, but this is their map pick, correct?
Map pick for the Icebox map, yeah. I think so, yeah.
I think Vector, when he knows how to play the map, he's shown that he's really good. And I think that's going to look very good for Salvation.
Yeah. No, I'm really excited about that. And while we're on the topic of Salvation here, Storch, I want to talk about that player that you had just mentioned, OK Vector here. Now, the last time we saw him in the series, he was a complete demon in the server on this Sentinel role. Really good lurks and timings back and forth. Especially on Ascent on that KJ. Just textbook from him. Beautiful rifle work. He played around B main a lot and is looking for the aggression from the other team, and just he was hitting all the shots he needed to. Looked a little less comfortable on that Cypher on the second map. I believe it was Sunset they played. But overall, really good Sentinel player. So I'm looking towards him in this series as well to give us what he gave us last time.
Yeah, now for me with Salvation, I think another talking point is Wowdex. He, last time they played, didn't have the greatest performance ever, and he's been catching a little bit of flame from that, from other players in the tournament. I think he's really going to try and prove himself here.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Especially when you have that pressure of like public perception on you, right? When you're, performing in the server. And that's the other thing that these players are up against too. It's not just their opponents who they need to be prepped against and the nerves that they have to settle going into the games. It's also the perception of like, okay, did we do the best that we could coming out of the server, and do we feel good about that performance given that all of our opponents are also watching us? So it's really good that you bring that up, because, that's another thing that begs into question. And I'm looking particularly towards DSS, who seem to be very confident. I mean, we see them talking here in the Discord a lot, especially Draken. So I'm really excited to see what they put out in the server, because as you said, people's perception and, people watching you, you're really worried about that. So I want to see how DSS respond to that, because there's a lot of high expectations for these guys coming into this game, especially given all the conversations around them.
Also, because of how close the last game was. I know Minji ended up taking it in only 2 maps, but it was still 2 very close matches, and it was really enjoyable to watch. I think that might add a little bit more added pressure to both sides here, as they just want to one-up that game, and it's going to be really hard to do that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, that was a crazy game too. Really good, really well done by Minji. I was so proud to watch that game there, and it looks they have a really good showing of resilience every single time, that squad. So it's really a treat to watch. Now we're throwing things on Icebox, and you and I have been begging for this map for a while, Storch, and you're an iCast specifically. So I'm excited that we get it on map 1 here.
Yeah, I mean, Icebox is always a fun map to watch. I feel like, there's always so much going on in the retakes that there's always something to talk about.
Yep.
And we're seeing a lot of different hovers here. Looks like Salvation's going to go towards the Harbor Viper comp. Now, Robbie, you know me. You know this is like my favorite comp on this map. I love it.
This is going to be good, man. This is going to be such a good series. Wow.
Yeah. And DSS coming out with the Clove here. What do you think of that pick?
So I've seen it. I actually was expecting it last series as well, from Minji in particular, because of the Clove that they played on Lotus. But the Clove, I think, is pretty good on this map, especially because it pairs well with that Viper and Killjoy and Sova, respectively. I mean, just that decay that Clove has access to in her kit is really good for denying the plant, right? Specifically on B site, you go ahead and throw that towards default, get a shock dart lineup, or even on A, same exact thing. So I think she pairs really well with a lot of the agents in this comp that they have right here. A lot of things that people talk about with Clove in a team play setting is how much she doesn't have of supportive utility, right? And obviously at the bare minimum, you have those controller smokes, but I think the rest of her kit actually supplements well with this comp.
Yeah, no, I do agree with that, and I think it allows a lot of like clutch potential, which, you're always looking for, especially in your controller players, because they tend to be the last alive on the defense side. Having those smokes up the entire round is so important, and so having that clutch factor is always really big.
Yeah. And as we get ready for this Icebox match, I mean, this is going to be so good from both sides. Very similar styles. You've got the double controller on both sides. You've got that Jet, Sova, Killjoy presence in the server. So this is going to look like a much more principled match than we had last series. We had a solo KO on one end, and on the other end, we had the Harbor Viper comp going on with the solo Gecko, which I thought was very interesting. But I'm excited to see how these teams shift things back to a more principled play, because this is something that you and I saw last time we casted.
Yeah. I mean, opting for the solo Sova here is just so much better, I think, than the Gecko. Intel on Icebox is just so important, whether it be locking down mid, helping a push on A, even just the wall spams. I feel like both nests on A site, very spammable, very, very good pairing with Sova towards that side.
Yep. And already going into this pistol round, we've got an approach by DSS Gaming towards this B site. It's OK Vector going to be the one. Falls asleep at the steering wheel. French Toast taking him down on the entry there. And there's already that Clove utility coming into play. French Toast getting spammed down to low HP, and there's the plant to come through.
Yeah, and Trombone Man Noah just barely able to get that bomb down. 14 HP off that last shock. And 2 players. 4 DSS, 1 HP.
That's so dangerous coming into the retake here too. It's going to be a spam fest. Lots of stalling utility from both sides. Sirius taking down the head of French Toast there. Following that up, Plant comes right on through. High Tide getting reinvested here by Zirconium. And the shock darts has to steer clear from it, but all the bodies falling on the side of Salvation. DSS making really good work of the pistol there. Zirconium getting one for his troubles, but Draken with the trade, and that's the pistol for DSS.
And I think one thing that we have to stress there is off the back of a retake, you have to get those taps down onto the bomb. You have to make the enemy waste bullets, waste util. And I think that's just what Salvation was missing there. Now, DSS favoring B again. Gonna run into Bector. Hopefully Bector's a little bit more prepared for this hit. And really looking for Salvation to maybe try and take some space here, but it doesn't look like it's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's a very passive approach indeed into this round, and usually with these classics on second round, you like to see that. Now already here, Storch, we're getting a look into how DSS are going to be approaching this B scaling every time. You see that Ruse or Metal, one of the two, coming through though towards back yellow, and French Toast actually dashes off of it, so he's not worried about any flashes going into this. And so I'm looking for Salvation to start to decipher what that scaling looks like and approach this a little differently moving into the rifle rounds as we move deeper. But right now, Aniko staring them in the face. First contact made there by Wildex's top sight. Gonna have to back down off the Endeavor. And so far, it's a really aggressive hold by DSS. You see them up in these yellow positions, playing close box. And the game plan from Salvation is to die to Spike here, not trying to give any ult orbs to DSS, but because they're so aggressive, ult orbs are just being granted all over the place. And Hunter gonna have to just die to the Spike here.
Yeah, and so far, really strong showing from DSS. I mean, I know it's just been the pistol round and the bonus, or the boost, but only losing one there. Really well played. They do a really good job of getting off that site, not giving away too many ones.
Yep.
And so we now see the bonus here for DSS. They've only gone down to 1 ghost. The rest are bulldogs. Still very winnable round for DSS. And we see them really favoring this B scaling. Draken opts to go mid here. He gets picked off. Big pick from Zirconium. That's the Sova down.
I mean, that's such a pivotal piece going into this game as well. You want that Sova alive for those takes, but I mean, it doesn't slow them down. As you said, standard same B scaling. Third time in a row here. This time going to get halted a bit by the Nano Swarms. Delay is coming through by OK Bector, doing his job thus far. Not opting to go through the ruse there. Lord Buckethead landing some shots through the toxic screen, but nonetheless stays alive there on OK Bector. 5 standing for Salvation. Definitely doable here. DSS only 4 left standing, and it looks like Lord Buckethead over towards this deep yellow position is the one that's going to try to do the difference. Dart doesn't get shot out in time, so he gets spammed right through the wall there. Tap goes down onto the Spike. Gonna have to spam the bullets. And right now, with this Harbor presence in the server, it's just the spam fest. Does land the first one, and that takes the diffuser off of the Spike. Not sure if they're aware, but 2 immediately getting dropped. Trombone Man Noah looking to do the difference. Gets down 2. Only 5 bullets left in the chamber, and he takes him down. He gets a res. Oh my goodness. Pick me up invested. 1 in the world.
Wow. What a round.
Trombone Man Noah.
And if you're a Salvation player, you're kicking yourself there. The 2 players peeked him from yellow. None of them could find shots on him. Wow, and it's just hits. Nice shots. Very, very disciplined there. And as you were talking about earlier, the scaling onto the B side from DSS, the dash is just so perfectly timed with the metal. And then also the jet smoke going down onto plant. So well curved, it's just so drilled. Wow, and serious. Huge pick here. First blood with a Marshall. here over towards the A side. DSS preparing to hit. Have the Sova drone. Gonna see French Toast. He's gonna push up. Dashes in. He's not looking to overheat CT though. And now this gives time for the retake.
Time for the retake indeed. And right now it's not coming through quite yet. Salvation looking to herd the squad over here towards CT. A little zigzaggy wall comes right on through from the harbor on the defensive side. Wildex looking to scale towards rafters here. Doesn't find anything as all of the smokes currently deployed onto the map. And Draken looking to make some difference here as the Vandal in hand pushes past, but they have to deal with the cove. He's gonna have to go in, that's it. A thrifty taken from Salvation there because of that harbor cove.
And that's a huge round loss there from DSS. It's really hurting their eco. Now, if they lose this round, they don't have anything left. And you know you're going against that save. You saw the Marshal early. You lost numbers. You have to play back in that post plant. You can't risk giving up more pick. And yet, they still opt to push up, and they lose the round because of it.
Scanning ahead. Enemy mark.
This time, looks like DSS want to take things back over towards B here as A did not work. So here we are. Going into this B scaling once again, looks slightly different from the side of Salvation. But you see them, there's already 3 members here for them. And even Viper, being that mid player, can also come to very quick support. Wildex looking for the lurker. And I love this so far. Frost giving them comms that this A site is open. That's a big pick. And that's it. Completely opens up this A site. But Zirconium is also here. Frost not aware of his presence, but it just doesn't matter. Because that site control is theirs.
Yeah, and still, Zirconium, very dangerous position. He's gonna get mollied out. Now, Vector on a very, very late rotate. Sirius is able to find one with the Hunter's Fury. Hits another. Ricken's mid. He's low. Gonna try and catch out these players from Salvation. There's one. And he gets both of them. Now, and the 4K to finish the round. Wow, what a lurk from Ricken. And
yeah,
recently we've been seeing a lot more teams opting to sort of play that Sova as a bit of a floater. His util is very good at selling fakes. And that just allows him that round to creep up mid, and he gets 4 because of it. And now, DSS, any hopes of gaining momentum that Salvation had, DSS has now shut down.
Wildex investing the Blade Storm into this one. A bit of an awkward buy here. Sheriff in hand for Hunter. Both respectively locking down this A site. You see them going for this pressure at A, giving sound, playing with the deception. But OK Vector is completely pushed up here with the Sheriff. And so that's why you see rotations coming towards A from Salvation. And that Aldrone's going to give it away. Look at the immediate movement on the minimap just from that alone. You see they want to play this eco round very dynamic and look for that control as quick as they can. But look, they're just playing with them right now. DSS playing with food. French Toast already up on this A site, and they're just not aware. Finds out Wildex with the Blade Storm. He's aware there's another one towards back site. Hunter taking down Frost on that double lurk. And Trombone Man Noah also has slipped his way into their spawn. Just DSS completely dismantling the defensive setup this round.
Yeah, and who do you even watch? There's action everywhere on the map. Picks going down on A site, same time as picks going down in CT.
One enemy remaining.
And that's a round for DSS. 5-1 here. Salvation, they do have the coach. And here it is, the timeout. Perfectly timed.
Yeah.
Now,
Is
if I'm Salvation here, I'm thinking, okay, we have to get a little bit more active, and we have to be aware that they're really playing default heavy. And they have to pick up on that. So far, they've just been losing their numbers through lack of sort of realization that, oh, there's only 2 people on the other side of the map. There could be somebody on me. and they just die because they get crept up on from behind.
Yeah. And I think that's the story of the push and pull rotation as well. DSS seemed to have a really good, decisive stronghold on that in this map thus far. And I remember saying, Storch, before this game, I'm looking for Lord Buckethead, the IGL on the side of DSS, to set the foundation for what we can expect from this team in map 1 here. And I mean, man, I'm looking at some really good fundamental foundation right now.
Yeah, and, you know, we get to go on to that Haven next round. A map that really prioritizes selling those fakes, selling those rotates. And I think that's looking really good for DSS. If they're able to win this map, I think it's a really, really big threat for Salvation. And then DSS opting to go fully towards A. They're going to run into 3 members of Salvation.
Yeah, and Wildex looking for an aggressive angle here. Does get the first one on the French toast, but gets traded out by the IGL on the side of DSS.
Enemy tag.
And already coming into this round, 2 kills down within a matter of seconds. Hunter's Fury invested from Draken in this close range space. Zirconium getting hit for that 80 HP. And right now, as you said, Sova really good at selling those fakes. While that Hunter's Fury was coming out, the rest of his team's rotating B. But because Hunter is pushed up here, he can call this out. Gets the first pick second.
Wow.
That's it. And that's the third.
Spike down. B.
Hunter, from this aggressive position, has completely capitalized off of it so well. And now it's Draken left in the 1v2 scenario. He knows he's got a 1v1 right now with Hunter. He's got to take it. There it is. 30 HP on the Draken. And right now it's a Sova 1v1. Serious. At a serious advantage right now. Full HP. Phantom in hand. Aldrone to work with to get that reconnaissance. Only 6 bullet in Draken's chamber though. 2 shock bolts. No other reconnaissance left in store. Not for 20 seconds at least.
And Sirius, it looks like he's going to re-clear mid. Try and rotate towards A. Draken now has to find a really weird timing. And it looks like Sirius was still in range to hear the bomb.
Spike planted.
This is a close one.
Yeah. And it looks like Draken doesn't even expect him to come from spawn here. He's aware this guy didn't fight with the team. He hears that recon bolt come right on through. Goes ahead for the reload. And that's where you can see that experience come into play. He reloads once he gets the information. Goes for the shots. A little labored. Sirius turning right to the side. Shock bolt coming through. He knows he's off. Recon bolt reveals him. Just playing with his food at this point. Shock bolt coming through, but Sirius still able to land the shot. What a nice try there from Draken.
Yeah, and if I could use 3 words to describe that round, I would use duality of man. We saw so many crazy shots there, especially from Hunter. And then a little bit of whiffing as well. Just need to stay more composed. And now, DSS invested that Sova last round, but they still have 4 ults to work with. And then on the side of Salvation, they have 3, and all 3 of these ults are potentially round changing. Dex takes an early engagement towards A, has to back off. And Zirconium, he's positioned up, screens again. Are they gonna know? No, instead it looks like they're chasing him away. And Aug Vector, he's about to get a fight down here towards mid. IGL versus IGL. And Vector gets the kill. That's huge. That's IGL down for DSS. And now Lockdown is also up for that retake.
Yeah, I mean, they've handled this really well. The Reckoning coming out so early was really interesting to me, but Trombone Man Noah, he's got that not dead yet in his back pocket, so you see him going for that aggression here, and he can still smoke for the team even while dead. And that's the wonders of that Clove pick. French Toast getting punished out there by Hunter. And Draken in a very aggressive position on his own. Trombone Man Noah should have been the first point of contact for this team several times now. Still goes for that shot. It's good for 1, looking for the second, and right now he's just stalling. Frost doesn't even have to do anything, doesn't have to lift a finger. Trombone Man doing all the work, 3 on the round, looking for the res, and that's it. Sirius now caught in a 2v1. Frost
Wow.
Lands that kill, and that's it. What a nice round there from DSS. It looked scary, though.
Yeah, and I really like how DSS are playing micro-wise. You know, a lot of times here in VLE, we see people that just go out and willy-nilly wide swing, as I like to call it. And DSS clearing their ankles very, very, calmly, not exposing themselves to too much at once. And we see that when they catch like an elbow of a Salvation player, and they just are able to get the pick off of it.
Aldrone clearing things out over here towards B. Slightly different look. French Toast dashing in this time before the Clove ability comes through. He's only got a Bucky in hand, so you see Noah going for that wrap, and that's it. Handled that very well.
Yeah, and the Bucky, just not quite what it was in its former glory.
Yeah. Old Bucky definitely kills there.
Yeah.
Trombone Man Noah gets that spike down. 4 left standing for DSS. So far coming into this, the Classics, Stingers not doing enough work for Salvation, and they definitely have a disadvantageous scenario in front of them.
Yeah, and they have to try and find a pick here. But it's up to DSS, or DSS gonna allow them to isolate a 1. And no, they aren't. The quadruple peak coming through, and it's just so well played. DSS looking really strong right now. And Robbie, at this point, what does Salvation have to do to find a stop?
Honestly, they're going to have to get a little more aggressive. I think they're giving DSS so much space in these early rounds and just letting them toy onto the sites. Literally just walk their way on. I see Hunter. Plan this round is to throw that Viper's Pit down, but is that even enough for this response? I mean, Wildex is very, very deeply inserted right now.
And they're tripled up here. Salvation is ready for this hit. Only giving up one agent. There's 2 now. And looks like we might be about to see an engagement go down on the B site. No. Trombone Man just holding the position. And DSS, Draken, he's up so far. He's all the way 410. And Trombone Man Noah gets the pick onto ABG Hunter. That is huge, and that's now an opening onto B. Fully empty because of the Viper ult. Wow, what a pick.
What? He just runs through for free. Takes down Wildex ahead of the retake, and right now the counter's Viper Pit goes onto the site. I mean, DSS has completely turned this B site around, just pummeling through the setup here from the opposing Viper. Sirius, Zirconium, gonna try to get the clutch underway, but Lord Buckethead taking him down. That is the Viper's Pit gone, but Sirius, not enough HP left to go into this clutch scenario, so gonna go ahead and save the Phantom.
Yeah, and I don't know how I feel about the use of that Viper ult there, Robbie. I feel like in a position where you have such heavy numbers like 4-2, I think that's got to be the most advantageous 2-number position other than a 3v1. And it's just, it allows them to, Salvation to isolate angles that they wouldn't normally have. There, if I'm DSS, I think I'm saving Viper ult for when I need it more.
Yeah, 100%. I think it was a bit of an overcook going into the round, but job is done, and so now you see the DSS timeout coming through. This is interesting.
And is this prep for the defense half, do you think, Robbie?
I would assume it's prep for the defense half, and also so DSS don't get too far ahead of themselves, because, I mean, that engagement over towards B, that was just Noah pulling out a heroic play. Any other day of the week, that Viper just easily gets the kill on him and punishes him. Granted, I think it was a bit of a risky play to leave the Viper's Pit in general, but the coach from the side of DSS might see too many 1v1s happening, so dry 1v1s at that, so he might be trying to, take away any errors before they start to present themselves more.
Yeah, and there's always the possibility that there's some sort of tension going on in the team comms.
Mm-hmm.
I think This timeout timing, it has to be something along the lines of that. As much as, yeah, they've been giving up some ones, they haven't actually been giving them up because they've been winning them. This now, you have to remember that calling a timeout is great because it allows you a minute to just recuperate, make new strats. But it also gives the other team that time. And that might be time that, you know, Salvation really needed to get the last couple of rounds of this half. And DSS so fast up mid. They got the pick on Sirius. Zirconium running knife out, trying to get out. Can't quite make it. And Frost is able to pick up the stragglers and he picks up Vector. And it's just a clean sweep, and now WowDex. Wow. What a take from DSS. That was so fast.
Yeah.
Last round in the half.
I mean, I guess the timeout was to just plant seeds of doubt in Salvation, because we just saw a mid to A take there, Storch. Very interesting, and it completely caught them off guard coming out of that timeout right there. Even the flank getting completely domed before, or right after they leave garage, rather. What a quick round from DSS there. And that just goes to show, Storch, the amount of dedication and also just discipline coming into the games for this squad as well. DSS.
Yeah, and Salvation, they came into this game having really, really high egos and high confidence here. Maybe they're starting to rethink that.
Found them.
Oh, and the toaster up and Vector. They get a lot of damage. Doesn't spot out the pin on top of him, and he falls. Wow,
Hunter's Fury.
Wow.
Taking Trombone Man Noah down pretty low. Does dodge out of there, though. Right now, awkward engagements taken left and right around the map. Spike still goes down, and Hunter and WildDex left by their lonesome.
Get out of my way. Here.
Is this doable? Hunter finds one, but it instantly gets picked up as a res. French Toast on 4 for the round off the A's, can't find it. WowDex with 2 gets shut down by Frost.
There it is. What a half from DSS. I mean, so dominant from them. An incredible performance, and I mean, there's that foundation we're talking about, and the expectations are definitely high because they've set a high bar so far in this game. And you mentioned last round, and I wanted to touch upon it, the trash talk going into the games. You know, something that we talk about here, because sometimes that could get ahead of the gameplay itself. You want to prove yourself, you know, before you go in too much with the cockiness of the servers. So maybe Salvation playing the war of attrition here on top of that. And it's showing in this scoreline right now. So they're going to have to put all of that aside, get the nerves out of the way, and really look for this comeback here.
Yeah, and Robbie, through my own investigation, I did favor DSS coming into this series, but I didn't expect it to be a lead by this much. And Sirius gets spotted out belt. Buckethead gets a pick. Vector able to find the refrag onto Draken. And they're aware that Vector's up mid. Vector Toast can't hit a shot. And Vector gets the kill all the way up into kitchen now. And he's in their spawn.
Spike down. Mid.
So ready for this.
Yeah, but Noah has a response. Ooh, so does Lord Buckethead. 3 on the round already, and the trades come through so fast. I mean, DSS have really good synergy. We've seen so many fights, disadvantageous ones at that, taken from members, and then their team just follows it up. Really nice fight there towards mid.
Yeah, and Robbie, we've talked time and time again in our casts together about how in VCT, any team, you know, they might have their all-stars, they might have whatever, but any player can pop off at any given time. And hold tab for a second for me. That's exactly what we're seeing from DSS.
Yeah. Frost looking for the shots on the outlaw there. Back A site. Trombone Man Noah looking to follow things up. Has the Bulldog in hand. It's a very aggressive approach from him. Goes in right forward, looking for the spray transfer. Doesn't get it. Zirconium able to take him down, and that is a Bulldog recover from the side of Salvation. Draken landing 3 bodies there within fractions of a second. Zirconium left with a stinger and 26 HP. And that's it. Frost will get the job done, and that's 12 for DSS. What a dominant game here.
Yeah, and Draken proving that he deserves that episode 5 immortal buddy.
Yeah.
And now, it has to be another force here from Salvation, but they're just scraping up pennies from the floor. What do they really have? And now, we still have the Outlaw in the hands of Frost. That's going to be deadly.
Yeah, especially against the economy that they have. Oof.
Yeah, and what can Salvation even do here? I'm honestly at a loss for thought. As of right now, this map just looks a little bit like Raps.
Yep. I was going to say that. Just given the way DSS are playing right now, Storch, it just looks so unlikely from Salvation. And I think this is even a good timeout where it's like, you know, let's pick the heads back up. Let's try our best to get this map win, but let's also look forward to a series ahead of us, right? This map loss right here itself is not a series loss, and I think that that's what the coach is digging into right now.
Yeah, and no, I really was not expecting a result at all similar like this to this, if this really is the last round. I mean, not even Celestial was able to have this dominant a win. And we saw Pillow Fort pop off. And Salvation, they're able to find the pick. Only Stinger. Trombone Man Noah able to find the refrag though mid. And now it's a 4v4 retake. And Frost is nested with an Outlaw.
He's going to be a difference maker. Oh!
The calm doesn't go through.
Ooh, where have they faltered there? Looking for the clutch. Ooh, and a little bit of a side swipe there from French Toast. Right now, I mean, they could just end the map off right here. Hunter does get the trade, and all of it comes down to him. Hasn't confirmed the tap, but Noah, look at the experience come through there. He's waiting for him to waste the bullets in the spray and then goes through the smoke. I mean, you just can't teach that. Wow.
And Robbie, I think we have to talk a bit about what happened under site there. I mean, we saw French Toast obviously pick up across the back site. But then Draken is running out with his back-to-back sight. You have to think, maybe there's something missing in that comm sphere.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's those small moments where communication is so important, and one person can do all the damage in one round. You're right.
Yeah, and what a game that was, so dominant from DSS. It really felt like it was never a competition.
And especially looking at the leaderboard here, I mean, four members of the side of DSS are just on the top of the leaderboard. And all 5 members there from Salvation down there with respect to Frost in there as well. So, I mean, you can also just see the individual performances shining here. I mean, Trombone Man Noah on that Clove was such a treat to watch. And he made it look so good, too. So good.
And Frost actually has, like, the 3rd best KD on his team. I think the only reason he's down there on the leaderboard is because he didn't get enough fights in. He just, you know, everybody else was taking more fights than him. And I think it would be otherwise if he had taken more fights. 3-2. I am really surprised. That's Salvation's map pick as well. We're now going into Haven, which is DSS's map pick. I'm excited to see what they're going to pull off there.
Yeah. No, it's going to be very interesting, and it looks like they're really going for that dual style, because French Toast himself, very aggressive on that Jet here on Icebox, and Trombone Man Noah as well on the Clove, and unexpectedly so, especially on an agent like that. So on Haven, I don't expect to see a Clove on Haven, only because I feel like it's hard to get value out of her if you're not playing B, and I feel like B on Haven is really easy to retake, so they'll probably prioritize him maybe on Omen instead, or even Astra. So I'm excited to see the duality of the way that Noah is able to play to the different tempos of the other controllers in the pool. Because already coming out of this, I see really good fundamentals from DSS. I have little to no fundamental comments to make about this squad, other than I'm excited to see what the flexibility looks like from the roster.
Yeah, I think we found a new team to watch for VLE.
Oh yeah.
Salvation had a really strong showing first map. Everything looked really good. And I would even put them like nearing like top 5 area in the league when I saw them play a couple of weeks ago. But after today's match, DSS really surprising me. And if that last map is what it's going to be like for the rest of the season, you have to think, who's going to stop these guys?
Yeah, I mean, those are Zeta numbers that they just put up on the board just now. And so,
Not
what
just
an
Zeta
amazing
numbers.
Performance.
Zeta versus Spectrum numbers.
Yeah, basically, yeah. You're absolutely right. And I think those guys were in the same group last tournament. Or no, was it Zeta and Operatives were in the same group last tournament. Yeah, this is Zeta Spectrum numbers right here. So my expectations, obviously, after this first map, I'm very, very pleasantly surprised. I thought DSS were going to be good coming into this, but not this good. And so this scoreline alone makes me so excited for map 2. And speaking of map 2, folks, we're going to go ahead and throw it to a 5-minute intermission, and we'll see you on the other side. right, folks, welcome back to DSS versus Salvation. Now, what a dominant map right there. We were laughing here in the caster's booth because a joke was going around. That's Zeta numbers that were just put on the board by DSS in their opening match right here. So definitely a win, well deserved on that first map. Now we're throwing things over to Haven here. Bit of a different tempo, Storch, than Icebox, so I'm excited to see the versatility from DSS here.
You know, the way DSS played Icebox, it's a little bit irregular. I feel like a lot of teams, you know, they don't always play for that very draw rotates heavy on Icebox because most professional level teams know not to have those heavy rotates because of how powerful the retakes on that map are. But if they played that exact same way on Haven, I think the result is going to be the exact same, if not even more in favor of DSS.
Yeah. And so it's going to be really interesting, you know, how Salvation decide they want to clap back into this, because I mean, something's got to give. I'm definitely expecting them to play pretty explosive here. Probably just going to see that Breach Jet comp coming out of them on this map. And so I want to see a lot of mid control. I want to see just a lot of extremity control just in general. On this defense half, I want to see them prioritizing something different. Now, I know on this map they're starting on the attack side here, Salvation. So that's even more of a reason that coming into this map, they're going to have to play aggressive, get the hopes back up, you know, make the squad more confident, get a good pistol round here, put a sheriff in the hands of Wildex, you know, whatever have you, whatever it takes, it's got to happen now.
Yeah. And I think for DSS, we maybe get a look at an ISO comp here. We saw how aggressive they wanted to play. And I think it definitely suits how they were fighting.
Yep. I wouldn't be surprised, actually. I could see Trombone Man Noah being the guy to play the ISO. That guy was just doing everything that game. And speaking of, I mean, I just wanted to highlight his stats real quick. Just this Clove gameplay right here, absolutely amazing. The first really good impression I just saw from him in that map was that clutch he had. What round was it? Like round 2 or something like that? He had the pick me up available. He just or not dead yet rather. He just goes into it. He gets 3 kills, reses himself. Then the last guy goes for the tap on the spike and Noah just kills him with a classic. I mean, it's small heroics like that from the Clove in general that are really good. And so I'm looking for him to be a difference maker in this controller role.
Yeah, him and Draken, I think, had a very strong showing first map. And, you know, they really want to end this game fast. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah. Just a quick 2-0 to come out from DSS, if they can make it happen. But Salvation, they may be down, but they're not out. I mean, we saw in their first series, there were some really good moments of resilience from them. And I know I say that word a lot here on the caster's booth, but it's because that's one of my favorite words when it comes to a game like Valorant. You have to have that. In your setting as a team, you know, if you really want to be able to claw back from round deficits, because that's ultimately where it comes from. That's how you win a series. And so
yeah,
I'm really looking for that to be a difference maker for Salvation here. Wildex already locking in that jet. We've got the Omen, we've got the Cypher, and presumably just the Breach Sova to come out from there.
Oh, and what did I say, Robbie?
Ooh, there it is. Oh,
wait.
The Yoru ISO
and Yoru. Ooh. I like the look of this comp. I mean, Fnatic play it so well.
Yeah,
and
I was going to say, yeah.
DSS, they do have that sort of similar playstyle, I feel. I think it suits them. And now they go for the Yoru Jet. I don't think I've seen this one, Robbie. Or at least not in a while.
Yeah. Slightly different configuration. I like it, though. I still like it. That's really good. I mean, it still plays to the style that we just saw from DSS here. Draken the one on that Yoru, French Toast staying on that Jet, and Trombone Man Noah, as I talked about after Icebox, presumably switching over to that Omen, and he did just that. Now on the flip side, we've got a Fade Breach comp. Now, I want to dive into that just a little bit because they're playing a comp that we see on Haven, you know, 90% of the time, except instead of Sova, it's Fade. What do you think about the juxtaposition here?
You know, Fade, she used to be phenomenal on this map. I mean, back before that, the C's nerf, you could just throw it top A main and you could just catch 5 players on the enemy team bungee jumping. Nothing they could do. But now, I feel like Sova just edges it out a bit. I feel like Haven's more about that sort of slow playstyle, and Sova definitely caters more towards that than Fade does.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And the thing about Fade is she's much more short range as well, right? So small Sova niches that you see here on this map, a lot of times if you're on attack and you're going to take that early A lobby control, you throw that recon bolt towards long. And so you got to find those eye lineups, and I mean, it's easier to shoot out. The dog can't get as far as the drone can actually see, so there's small things here and there that could, you know, be a push and pull for the reason of either of those agents. I definitely think Sova is stronger on this map, but I'm excited to see what they do with the Fade. I mean, there are some pretty good set plays you could get out with it. Maybe a C's over towards like a B plant into an aftershock and get a kill on that. Even on A site, if you get your Breach and Fade to play there, C's default, get an aftershock there, so really good things definitely can be deciphered out of this comp, but on the flip side, we've got the Yoru Jet, so I can't wait to see that, just given from what we've seen DSS after the last match.
Yeah, and back to the Fade, I think a big part of Fade gameplay is synergy. And on a map where Raze isn't common, and in a comp where they aren't playing a Raze, Fade loses a lot of value from even just the C's nade. I feel like that's just such an important piece of util, or an important combo. I mean, I feel like Sage or Fade without a Raze is just weird to me. But then for DSS, if you're gonna replace any agent in that Fnatic comp, it's gonna be the ISO, and that's what they've done. And that's with the Jet. I kind of like it.
Yeah, no, it's going to be really cool. I mean, these days, Yoru, he kind of plays as an initiator in some ways, this Yoru. It's just the way he's able to get the flashes going and the fake outs going towards the site. So he's got very initiator styles these days, and it's really nice to watch teams really bring him out, because there was a time where he was considered so niche, teams just wouldn't play him. And so we see him coming out here on Haven. Speaking of, it's going to be the Yoru on the side of DSS. Draken taking the first point of contact here. Buckethead, bit of a bait and switch. Bait and switch successful, gets out with the gate crash. And know what? This time he's not playing close, so gonna have to be a little more careful with the setup, but the paranoia comes through at the right time. And Buckethead a little bit late to the party. Jet getting dashed onto the site. Wowdex looking to set the tempo here. And Bechter, OK Bechter rather, already doing the lurk shenanigans we're used to from him. But Yoru going down here forces Frost into a really awkward engagement. He knows he has a 1v1 here on site. He's going to have to go quickly for it, but it looks like he's just going to get out of dodge.
And I'm surprised he doesn't opt for a Ghost pickup here. I feel like in a 1vx, a Ghost is much better than a Sheriff on pistol.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be so difficult too. He's on 20 HP, does have turret, but really smart play here by Salvation to just group up here.
Spike planted.
Yeah.
I mean, just from this pistol round alone, and this might be crazy to say, but just from this pistol round alone, I mean, Salvation already looked better than they did on Icebox. They only won 2 rounds within the whole map, and right now they're staring down the barrel of success on this pistol on Haven so far, which is nice because the tempo was pretty quick too towards A. So you don't really see any nerves.
It's a pleasant surprise. That's what I would call it.
Yep.
And should this round come to Salvation, which it definitely seems like it will,
Imagine if I died right now.
probably means that they equal up their score from the last game.
Yep.
I mean, Fish isn't here, so surely the team who buys up is going to win.
Yeah. The luck on that earlier was crazy.
Yeah, no, it's every time.
Yeah.
Fish is casting, don't buy up. And we're looking towards just a straight B hit, which is a little interesting to me because, you know, it's such a close range sight. If you're going against these worse guns, I think you're just going to have a bit of a challenge.
I agree. But I think Salvation might be going into this round with that's what they want you to think. And so they're trying to make a stab at it anyway, but
Wow.
right now, bodies falling for DSS. Sirius landing 3 with the Marshal there has done so much damage. And wherever those kills came from, they were all in A lobby. So for him to be able to shut that play down that easily just goes to show DSS not quite feeling it on that take there.
Yeah, no, it was very split up peaks. I was actually watching that, and it was just one by one. They didn't try to group up. They didn't try to leave. They just sort of slow peeked into it.
Here. Spike
But
planted.
Frost and French Toast 3v2 retake, not unwinnable. Especially with that pick now. French Toast, he has 3 on the round. Here's the step towards long.
Enemy remaining.
4. Does he realize that he heard long earlier in the round? Now he definitely
Player
does.
Standing.
And a 1v1 Zirconium versus Frost.
Found one.
Frost is gonna get half month away, and he's alive. How has he lived? And that's a big round for DSS there. They got 4.
Whoa. Yeah, that was a big round indeed. I mean, although Salvation come out of that round with success, DSS have gotten so many kills and then some
Not ready. There.
damage onto Zirconium.
Yeah, and
What
also
an
talk
awkward
about,
engagement.
talk about stacking those ult orbs. Every single one of those kills fell into the hands of French Toast. And now, should they lose a rifle this round, they're very likely to have jet knives next.
Right there.
Target.
Now, a Garage C split coming out of Salvation here. Breach is gonna play alone out of main. That's okay, because they have the site.
Back off.
Oh, and Draken with
Spike
2.
planted.
Fake teleport. Cutting through.
And Salvation, their numbers are just falling.
One enemy remaining.
Sweet. My ult's ready.
Wow. That was such a hasty retake. Felt like they never really left the site. Salvation, they need to clear more of that site before they go for that bomb plant. They can't expect, like, the second they get on site for backside to be clear. And now, we do have the Blade Storm on the side of French Toast here. Should he decide to maybe buy a teammate? Which doesn't look like they need, because they have the eco for it. But, you know,
Right here.
it's always, Blade Storm is always a big threat. Especially on that A retake, you can get a nice updraft. He's going to use it here, though. And a default look out of Salvation. We haven't seen this from them yet.
Yeah, and it's good too because they get to understand the way DSS are setting the pace coming into this too. We have another A fight coming through. Draken, tip of the spear into this one. Buckethead showing some presence as well. And right now you see DSS, just off the confidence that they got last game alone, they're looking to stay in Salvation's faces. They don't want to concede any space. And you see them playing passive over towards C. So the game plan is push one of these extremities, look for the fights, try to get one, get out, and that's it. Because this Yoru, you can keep him inserted in some very deep positions, and all he needs is that gate crash to get out.
Yeah, and look at this from DSS. They're not over-rotating at all. They might have left the C side open. They're aware of this B and garage pressure. And they realize, hey, we have people pushed up A. We don't have to send any rotates there to help. There's 2. They're playing off of each other. And now, all 5 members of Salvation pushing out onto the C side. All into French Toast.
30 seconds left. Spike
Wow.
planted.
And 5 picks coming down one by one. One after another. So hard to keep track of. And the Fade Dog's gonna miss. Bracken has that intel for his team.
I'm back.
Both are on site. Buckethead can't quite
One enemy
get the
remaining.
pick.
I know
Last
they
player
can.
standing.
1v1, both players 1 HP.
And the neural theft gives OK Vector a bit of an advantage here. Draken, at this point, is sniffing him out. He knows where he is. The spam might come through the box. When he doesn't spam, he just peeks it just like that. And OK Vector whiffed the clutch on the round. And even the teabag to come right on through at the end there. And that's 3rd for Salvation.
Yeah, and Salvation, you know, Icebox as their map pick. They get murdered on it. But now, on the Haven, they're looking a lot better. I'm starting to wonder why they decided to go for that Icebox first. I don't even think that DSS have been playing it poorly. It's just, you know, they've been losing their fights.
the immediate take towards mid as well. Again, every single round, they're looking to take space just like this, DSS. Noah caught out in the open a little bit. Shrouded step to get his positioning over towards site. Playing around the dark cover. Nightfall comes right on through. Sirius getting the first blood of this round, but Noah, he doesn't have any sound based off of that ultimate alone, so it takes him down. Lord Buckethead, the only player here able to do a difference, and the other two stuck on the flank. They haven't been able to deal with this at all.
Yeah, and Buckethead, he's trying to scrape something together. Can he be the hero for his team? Buy his team the time. No. French Toast gonna miss a knife, pull out his Spectre. Gonna fall. And DSS, they're just falling like flies. And I think this might be the perfect time to utilize an early timeout.
Yeah, 100%. This is not the DSS that we saw in Icebox. They're going to have to take a timeout and figure out how to get that back into them.
Yeah. And Lord Buckethead, he's able to save the rifle. Eco, it's still looking pretty healthy for DSS. They all have their buys, they have an op. This is the round to make a statement.
And Odin on Draken. It's interesting.
Yeah, Yoru as opposed to Buckethead. It is a little bit interesting. But we'll see what he cooks up with it.
Glass cannon here from French Toast. Looking to make a difference here towards B. Stun comes through. Not forcing him off the line quite yet. Getting a little greedy with it. 2 shots missed, 3 left in the chamber, and he's still looking for more. Only 2 left, and he gets completely enteried on. And the third time was not the charm. French Toast going down on that take. Hunter's Fury invested by Lord Buckethead does take down Hunter. And that is the spike down on B. Sirius going to be the next approach to this one. All meanwhile, Frost, he's behind them. Towards this B site, takes down the first one, and OK Vector looking for the second, and there it is. All the bodies drop, and DSS have found the clapback they needed.
And a little bit of BM coming out of this DSS Sova. You know, yelling, "I am the hunter," then eliminating Hunter. You know, really getting in their heads.
I like that.
Now, they have recovered this op. French Toast, you know, they're really hoping that French Toast is going to be able to find some picks with this op this round. He wasn't able to last, and it feels like he should have found 1, maybe even 2. And they're preparing to smoke B off bat, Salvation is. They're aware that there could be an op. And they've decided not to pull it out, but instead to attack by C. Very slow round here. We see a rotate coming towards B. They're really putting a lot of pressure on Noah here to hold down this sewer space. And he's gonna back up as Salvation look to edge towards this A side. But Noah and Buckethead, they're grouped up backside. They're ready for this.
Yep. And I love the discipline from Salvation this round too. You see, before they even peek towards B, they get that Omen smoke to come out, you know, get away from that jet op. And hearing that jet run away, even the haunt coming towards B is enough to keep him there. Still gets the pick though onto Sirius, and that's the smokes down. Noah playing into the smoke does take down Wildex. That's the duelist on the side of Salvation out of the equation. OK Vector taking down Lord Buckethead there. Bit of an IGL diff coming into play, and Hunter gets that spike down, but lockdown comes into play. Now, we haven't seen KJ played on this map that much in the current meta, but that lockdown is so damn good for situations like this. Diffuse already come through, and I don't even think they're going to have time to get into this at all. Full diffuse there, just based off the lockdown. So DSS handling it very well.
And that's a really undisciplined peek there from French Toast. Has the op in his hands. His team's already low on eco. And now, he's not going to be able to get another one. He had to find a way to not fight there.
Right there.
French toast, no operator in hand this time. As you said, undisciplined last round. This time he's going to back off the angle a lot quicker. Rolling Thunder comes through towards B. Haunt to follow it up. And the dash comes through top sight, looking for the spams through the smoke. Draken, the first one to land that blood, though. They line up. Frost, not able to land even one of them. And right now, the ounce of doubt put into their head. Trombone Man Noah on that flank, able to recover two. And Zirconium spotted out towards Garage. Sirius, only 10 HP back sight to defend the spike. Takes down one. But it's a 1v3 left in store for Zirconium. Can't even find a single one. French Toast taking him down. And DSS, they're clapping back pretty hard right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great round from them.
Block it out, Omen.
And that breach ult just being invested and doesn't really get them anywhere.
Yeah, and I definitely love this timeout coming from Salvation as well. I mean, you want to stop the bleeding before it becomes deadly. And so that's exactly what they're doing here. I mean, not too many rounds given up thus far. Started off this game with really good momentum and dropping the last few. And so the coach is going to give some input here.
Yeah, I'm really looking to see from Salvation here, maybe fighting that A. They've lost so much early map control. Just giving up this A, and now I think it's the time that they should decide to fight it. Only ult up on the entire server is from the shadows on Noah. So not much to work with here. We're close to Yoru ult for Draken. Close to another from the shadows, close to a neural theft. But there's no big ults incoming anytime soon. And we're getting underway. It looks like they're going to do exactly what I thought they would. They're going to try and refight this A. And Zirconium finds a big pick, C long. Wow, so many fights happening everywhere. And Salvation, they come out on top of it. 4 versus 3. Now collapsing onto Frost. Frost now, 1v3 on this site. It's gonna get cleared.
Oh,
Balls. And it's just up to Buckethead and Noah
Spike
now.
planted.
oh. Gets the first one. Looked for the second one to Zirconium. Gonna use the Shrouded Step to get out of the C's there, but it's confirmed by the Prowler follow-up. I mean, this is very doable. Shock Dart goes towards Zirconium and actually takes him down. And now we're in a 2v2. How has DSS managed to salvage this one? Hunter looking for the spam right on through. Ooh.
And the minimap spam. That's huge from Sirius because Hunter was out of ammo.
Yeah. And it got really disconnected there at the end. Even the Shrouded Step going into the dark cover back sight. Got disconnected there. A nice attempt there from DSS, but Salvation taking it over.
Yeah, and that's a really, really nice round there from Salvation. They might have thrown a bit of it away. They did try to refight that A, and they were successful with it. Now, fast A coming out of Salvation. And DSS are fully ready for this. But Toast, he's gonna fall. No. Ult from Buckethead. Comes towards Long. Looks like it's only gonna get a tag onto Hunter. Wow, and Draken with a classic gets a pick. 3v3. And if you're a DSS, on the save round, you've already done your job.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the kills are really good. I like that Hunter sticking around, though, guarding these rifles. And that he'll do exactly that. Gets 2 of them. Not able to land the third, but I mean, a job well done from him. Does put him in a 1v2 though. Lord Buckethead. I mean, this is doable. Spike just got planted, so if he runs pretty fast, he's got time to go into this one if he's feeling that confident, and I think he is. Recon Bolton Stort. Spike's still on that first tempo here, so plenty of time to work with, but he's going to have to speed things up. In about 3 seconds here. And there it is as Spike starts to enter phase 2 of the beeping. Buckethead finding himself moving a little faster here. Haunt comes through. Recon Bolt doesn't find any. Sees to come down onto the Spike. Does miss. Lands just short of him. Tapped it. There it is. A double peek comes through, and that's it. Salvation. Really good discipline into that one.
How did that recon not clear Vector?
I have no idea.
That's insane. It must have landed on the steps. I don't think I've ever seen that before, Robbie.
Yeah, that looked kind of weird.
Buckethead, you know, losing out in part to his dart. I think that was just very unfortunate. Now, Salvation, they've found their footing again. DSS's turn to respond now.
A very quick garage space taken here. Rolling Thunder going over towards the C site, but it just misses Draken. He's able to play into the site. Flash lands, he dodges it, but Wilddeck still taking him down. Trombone Man Noah looking for the lurk in the garage, but the timing from OK Vector completely punishes him out of that. And look at this. They're already running away from this. DSS know they have to save these guns. And right now, Storch, I think it's very safe to say we are not seeing the same strong fundamental gameplay out of DSS this game that we saw in Icebox.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they've just faltered. It might be really excited over their first map win, maybe a little overconfident, and it's really coming back to bite them in the butt right now. And that's 7 now on the board for Salvation.
Last round before the switch.
I don't know about you, Robbie, but I'm actually a little bit shocked right now. I really did not expect this outcome, like halfway through the game, after the domination that we watched last map.
Yeah, me either. I am properly phased at this one.
Now, it could be a little bit of an attacker-defender thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think we did see much better IGLing from DSS on the attack. And on Haven, already an attacker-sided map, a 7-5 half I think is actually good. And Draken inserted so deep here. Gets one. And he's gonna look for more as opposed to TPing out. And no, he's out now.
Here.
But the off
Again.
gets one on C.
Spike down, C.
All of a sudden it's a 5v2, but Noah gonna push out of garage and falls to Wowdex. Wowdex, big pick here. Crashing into garage, Frost can't do anything, has to dodge. Has to try and re-clear rifle.
Player standing.
But he finds the pick onto Wowdex. 3v1. And Vector is just stuck in spawn. Going to come towards the A. Draken, he's cleared out pretty much all of the map other than A. He should be able to gamble stock this now. And Plant's coming through now. Are they gonna wait? Or are they gonna just push us too? And that's just a round win from DSS. Really felt like Salvation wasn't prepared for that pop to rotate towards C.
Not bad. Not bad. Not bad.
Switching sides.
The scoreline doesn't even feel the way the game has been going. It feels much more... it feels like the increment is way wider than this. Only a 2-round deficit for DSS, rather, in that first half. It just seemed like Salvation were completely sweeping the floor with them in that first half and left no crumbs, but definitely a salvageable game here for DSS. I mean, they're right there with it. If they go ahead and grab this pistol round right here, which is all they need to really claw their way back into this one. I mean, we have an even game. It's going to get really close. It starts with this pistol here for DSS. 3 seconds left to get this underway. Standard setup over here towards C. Spy cam looking for the contact. Does spot many towards C long. So you see they're already starting to take that A space. Salvation. DSS dashing right into the trap wire. Zirconium. Okay, Vector landing off their own, but Draken gonna get the trade there. Frost also taking down Zirconium. So that's the fade taken out of the picture, but they've still got that breach to deal with. Does have that stun in about 10 seconds, and that'll be coming into play later on in this. Flashpoint comes right on through. Draken forced out into the open, but Frost looking to do the damage, and he does!
Wow! And the
A clutch out of nowhere! A clutch out of nowhere from Frost.
What a round from Frost. And I don't even know how he found that many. I think the last 3 were all body shots. Looks like they just... all the bullets. Magnet bullet, really.
Yeah, that was insane.
Yeah, and that's a really huge round for DSS there. You know, Frost, he was on the bottom of the leaderboard earlier. After that round, no longer. You know, renewed ego on a Sentinel player can be huge. And they're looking to refight the same main. Wowdex is close right. Ghost's gonna have to clear it out. Finds him, gets out unscathed. That's a big fight.
Yeah, it is. Taking down that duelist player, and they don't have that going into the retakes. Hunter looking to follow it up, but it's so disconnected. Sirius able to land one down with the shorty and for his troubles, but Draken with the immediate trade, and you're starting to see the form of DSS coming back out. Spike getting planted. Zirconium and OK Vector left in this, and all they can really ask for is damage.
And Frost, he's just hiding. He doesn't really have to help his team here. 3v2.
Scanning ahead.
Everybody has some sort of rifle, whether it be Bulldog, Guardian, Vandal. This round, it just feels unlosable for DSS. And Salvation, they see that, and they're just going to go for these exits. And now, DSS, they're going to realize that and just rotate, or sorry, just back off from bomb through main. And really only able to find that one pick. Game's all tied up. And Frost,
Tied up indeed. This is a bonus that DSS are going to need, though.
But Frost is 3,400 yet. He can afford to drop a rifle here. And I think, if I'm DSS, I'm thinking, wow, look at our weaponry. We're set up to fully win this round. Is it maybe ever a force? But it looks like not. And I think that's fine. They only have one ghost. Onto Noah as well. He could spend a lot of time sort of lurked up, smoking for his team. And Salvation opting to play Fade away from any duelist towards the Cypher. This is pretty interesting.
Here.
Meanwhile, Trombone Man Noah on the case, looking to do the detective work over towards A, deciphering the setup, seeing not much aggression coming through, so you see the comms, pulls the rotation of DSS over towards this A space. Noah taking a bit of the leadership in this round, presumably. Dimensional Drift comes right on through, gets the information, and that's Hunter and Wowdex. Looking like they want to get off the site, but Hunter actually stays. Goes for the stun towards main, is able to take down the Omen. Coming out of the shrouded step there. And we still do have that lurk underway from Frost towards the B site. And as that spike goes down, Wowdex taking down Buckethead Draken, landing onto the head of Sirius.
And Frost found his
3v3
timing.
scenario. He did. And he's all the way behind too. His trigger discipline does take down the Cypher. And the crunch comes right on through. Both left heaven. And they're only on 1 HP. So this round right here, looks like DSS have done a great job in this bonus. Still have to convert it at the end of the day, but mean, it's looking very likely. Toast. There's the contact made. Dropping down from heaven. Nice shot from French Toast there. Wildex. Clean head tap on the French Toast there, but Frost to end things off. And that is a bonus round conversion for DSS.
Yeah, and I don't know if you caught that, Robbie, but Buckethead over towards C. He stayed late, put some spam through that back wall on C, and he lasered Zirconium down to 1 HP. That's why Zirconium had no health going into that retake.
No way. That's crazy.
And now, all of the momentum has shifted in DSS's favor. And Salvation, they're broke. All they have in terms of any sort of weaponry is a Spectre on Wowdex.
Yep. And the first blood taken within a matter of seconds in this round 2. Just Omen on the side of Salvation, just completely getting punished. So you see Wowdex gonna try to come here and look for a trade. Or just any lurks. Spike is up towards B though. So it looks like the team is wanting to end B here. Fake out comes right on through. Flash to even follow it up. Wowdex does get the job done. And more than it. Taking down French Toast at the same time. And that's both duelists on the side of DSS already taken out of the equation of this round. Wowdex looking for more on 52 HP, but he can go ahead and get out now. Done his job.
Buckethead.
Buckethead. What a positioning from him. He's completely open this round. And OK Vector, only with the Sheriff, was the one that could actually trade him out. But getting caught out with the spy cam in hand. Hunter over here towards a link. Looks for Frost, but completely confirms his position.
And Bucket, he's got 3 on the round, looking for that 4th. And he's gonna find it. Big round, big lurk from Buckethead. And Salvation at a loss for answers. At so many points in time, they had a chance to double peek or go for the refrag on Buckethead. And every single chance they got, they failed to capitalize off of. And just gave him all those ones. Now, if you're Salvation, you have to start thinking about using that last timeout. Maybe if you lose this round, that's when it might come out.
Right there.
The immediate stun coming out from Salvation. Wilddex looking for the 1v1 on the Jet once again, but French Toast getting pushed back by the aftershock. And right now it's a very fast take over towards the A site by DSS. Lockdown gets invested here. Teleport left onto the site. Knocking onto the doorstep at A, and nobody is home. So DSS taking full control of this site, and we're going to get a 5v5 retake here. Trombone Man Noah looking to take down Sirius towards mid, but it goes the other way. Draken left onto the site here. He's got Gate Crash placed over towards Long, so he's going to look to be the thorn in the side of Salvation going into this retake.
And Salvation now, they have like 30, 25 seconds left on the bomb. They have to start making a move here.
Yeah. Flashes all come through. It was perfectly timed. Draken getting really good damage back site there. And French Toast being a supportive entity over here towards short, looking for the next pick, but the spams come right on through, and Frost. Enough stall. There it is. There's one. There's two. And that'll do.
And here has to come the timeout. Yeah, and
there it is.
Wow. And every single attack round, all 5 have fallen into the favor of DSS. Robbie, was the secret to them winning Icebox maybe not their all-round gameplay, but more the fact that they started on that attack? And we saw how they were the ones who chose it as well.
Yeah. I definitely think that DSS have shown that they are a very, very strong attack squad. And I think we've seen that from other teams too. I'm forgetting which, I'm blanking on which matchup it was. But we saw another very attack-sided matchup. Nobody had like answers on defense. So DSS looking to be a team with that same dilemma. But I'm going to be honest with you, their attack, I think, especially on Icebox, has looked better than a lot of the other attacks that we've seen, even on the teams that are purely attacker-sided. So if DSS honestly figure out this defense, this defensive issue that they have, I think they could easily be in contention for like the best team in the tournament, or one of.
For sure. And yeah, I think it was the game that you're talking about, Robbie, where it seemed like neither team could find an answer on defense.
Right here.
I actually think that was the Salvation game.
Yep. Versus Extra Life, I believe it was.
Yeah, sounds correct to me, yeah.
Revealing area.
Oh!
Ooh! Just gets completely caught out. And this
Hunter's
whole
very-
defensive side is getting completely dismantled.
Wow. I'm not at a loss for words. Salvation, they're just falling so fast.
Yeah.
My ult.
Wow.
Definitely
And
didn't stop the bleeding early enough. Draken looking to be a thorn back sight here. Hunter takes him down. And I mean, this is still a 2v3 that looks so unlikely. Look at how deep
Revealing area.
of safe positions these DSS players have already gotten themselves into. One towards Cubby. Buckethead looking for the fight onto the site, but I mean, they still have nanoswarms to get through. They still have Frost. Rolling Thunder to deny it momentarily, but it's too little too late. Not even able to get another tap onto the spike. Okay, Vector gonna have to die here on the eco. And that's a very important ultimate taken out of the hands of Salvation too.
Yeah, and DSS, their site takes they've just seemed flawless. And now we see this Your ult up. With this ult, that leaves the C. Very classic play with your ult is the C hit. You can clear all of the site, ensure you that you can plant safely. And it looks like they're going to go towards A, so I'm curious to see if they're still going to invest this ult.
A very quick stun comes through. Hunter looking for the first point of contact, and this time it's just a jet on the side of Salvation with the operator holding down that C site. Meanwhile, the hit's coming towards A. Dimensional drift coming towards back site, confirming the presence. See the Cypher in the breach on this side. Flash comes through and is paired with the paranoia so well. Nightfall comes through, but again, too little, too late. Draken completely getting the entry onto the site that he was looking for. Zirconium follows it up. There's one. Looking for it. But the Yoru clone going to mask that gunfight there, and Sirius teleporting into his own dark cover there mid-sight, gets completely punished out. Zirconium looking to do any damage, but Draken lands onto his head. And that is series point so far secured by DSS.
Yeah, you can tell by the way Draken is playing right now. All he wants is to wrap up this game quickly so he can go out to the bar with his son.
Yeah.
And DSS, I mean, every site they've touched, it's just turned to gold.
Yep.
And Salvation, they have no ults to answer here. Or no round-changing ults to answer.
Oh!
Wow.
He sticks that?
Spam?
Trombone Man Noah is just such a beast. He just
Wow,
six from the shadows back sight there while someone's staring at him. Dart did catch him out, but gets punished off the back of it.
And take a look at Vector here, Robbie. All the
Yep.
way up this flank. They have no clue, and he's gonna go huge.
The alarm bot doesn't see that. Oh
In the
no!
whiff!
There you go, Wildex.
Spike down
Wow.
mid.
The question marks coming out in the chat. That's so unfortunate. And Vector, he's really struggled to find his footing in this series. First series, he came out gunslinging. Hopefully he can sort of regain that sort of momentum that he had earlier.
30 seconds left.
And 3v3, DSS is all the way up A. They hear the B, gonna fall 2v3, bomb down. But French Toast, 11 HP.
Yeah, and Frost was in a bit too much of a rush there for that VLEC that he had. Completely punished out by the entire squad of Salvation left alive here. And with the Jet low HP, those are not the type of fights you want to be losing. You see them getting ready for the retake here. Wilddex, 56 HP, just completely getting spammed out the moment he throws a Cloudburst down.
Player standing.
Coming
Wow.
into the site, Zirconium tries to take one down. Sirius gets the trade. And right now, as the GG's come into the chat pretty early, it's very obvious he's not onto the spike here. French Toast opting out of that one. He's going to have to get it halved. And there's just no chance at all. DSS have this early secured their playoff spot in dominant fashion.
What a series. That really set up a lot of storylines for potential playoff runs here.
Yeah.
And Draken, what a game from him. Masterclass on that Yoru.
I mean, Masterclass in general. Draken has been such a treat to watch this series. And although Trombone Man Noah had a much quieter second map, I mean, this squad is just layered Storch. Really nice things from front to back in these players. This DSS squad.
Yeah, and I look at the premier history of this DSS team. And apart from Draken, who seems to be a bit of a more recent addition, they've been playing together for such a long time. And when I look in that career, I see like 30, 40, 50 even matches in just Premier. That's so many weeks of practice. And, you know, that just gives them the edge over Salvation, who I'd assume has just not been together as long as DSS have.
Yeah. I mean, judging just based off this series alone, it would seem like it. I mean, because Synergy from DSS, you know, maybe even though it faltered a lot on that second map, I mean, in map 1, their synergy was indicative of a team that's been together for a long time, you know, in respect to Draken being a newer addition to the team, presumably. But, you know, on the flip side of Salvation, not entirely sure how long this team's been together, but the synergy definitely was not as figured out and as jointed as it was on DSS. So that's something they're going to have to figure out going into that lower bracket, because, I mean, there's some tough opponents in this group here. And so looking at the larger span of the tournament, obviously with DSS securing their playoff spot, you know, Salvation are going to have to worry about a potential Extra Life rematch going into that bottom bracket, you know, because Extra Life might have an answer going into it. But that's pending on what happens between Zeta and Extra Life. And so I'm really excited to see where that goes.
Yeah, definitely an exciting group. Was not expecting DSS to show up this strong.
Yeah.
I mean, overall, across 2 maps, 26 and 9, that's almost like a 67% round win percentage. That's so dominant, Robbie.
Yeah. Really dominant indeed. And I mean, what a way to show their face into the server. We've had a lot of really good, pleasant surprises coming in these first matches as well. You know, I know this wasn't a debut match like all the ones in the previous weeks, but it was a debut for DSS, and I think that they definitely just add on to the list of teams that have definitely surprised us in terms of what they were bringing to the server. You know, even teams that had a bad look coming out of the gates, they showed us some innovation too, so it's really a treat to watch going into this. I love the Yoru Jet comp. I was scratching my head a little bit at it when I saw it in Agent Select, because also I'm used to Cypher here on Haven. I mean, we didn't even talk about the fact that we've got KJ here too, a Sentinel that was played a very long time ago on this map. We don't really see Killjoy in the Haven meta currently. You always see that Cypher, and seeing that they were playing to those older standards, I mean, it worked out so well for them.
We also did see a little bit of that fall off, like Vector coming up on that flank that one round. Honestly, to me, if Vector could go back in time and find the 2 mid there, maybe changes the entire outcome of the game.
Yeah. 100%. And I mean, it was definitely a quieter series for OK Vector as well. Was used to the crazy Sentinel plays that we got from him in the first series, so much quieter approach this time around. You know, maybe he just had the series of a lifetime before, but I was definitely looking for a bigger performance from him. It seemed like a lot of players on Salvation just weren't on their game today in a lot of different ways.
Yeah. And I mean, sometimes that can just be the story of a series. Being said, DSS, I think even on a good day, they might have still come out with this match win against Salvation.
Yeah. And what's even more exciting as well is with this winner's matchup, being decided, our next winner's matchups, which is in 2 days, on Sunday actually, 4 p.m. and 9 p.m. First match that day, we have Celestial Titan versus Red Panda Gaming. And Red Panda Gaming came out of the bat, completely sweeping the floor with operatives, leaving no crumbs at all in that series. And it was a really dominant one at that. And then Celestial Titan doing the same against their opponents, ILH. And so I'm excited to see what that matchup looks like, to be honest with you, because Celestial Titan was a team that came out of the gate, and you and I casted that one too. We saw really good fundamentals. We saw them playing pretty standard comps. They're playing to some really high-level theories in the server, which is really nice to see. And Red Panda Gaming, just an explosive team. So I think we're going to see the battle of duality in that matchup, to be honest with you, because one team very explosive, one team somewhat reserved. I mean, that's going to be really good. Such a good matchup.
Yeah, and I'm excited to watch that one. And then the second match of the day as well. I mean, that's probably, in my opinion, not as big of a story as RPG Celestial will be, because I think those are two of the challengers for the title of VLE Season 2 winner. But ULA and Fanatical Radiance, they've both looked really solid in their opening matches, and I think it's going to be a really good, close match.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one. That's going to be a really good day indeed. Well, folks, speaking of, that's all we had for you today. That was DSS versus Salvation here. What a great matchup, and we're looking forward to Sunday, and we'll see you then.
Yeah, have a good one, guys.
Boom.